news out of the NFL. NFL owners have tabled the tush-push vote until a later date, meaning the league will not arrive at a decision on the play's future at this week's annual league meeting, sources telling our Adam Schefter. All right, we bring in Ryan Clark to the conversation.
RC in the house.
Stephen A. and Sharpe. What's going on?
What up, though?
Good
what
to
up?
see you. RC, your reaction?
Nothing much. I was at the owners' meetings yesterday. It was cool. You know, I talked to some people. I knew this was going to happen already. Y'all could have just texted me, and I could have told y'all that.
Oh.
Well, you know, we appreciate you pivoting to First Take to inform us of that. Thank you.
Next time, if you give us that heads up, I'll say breaking news according to Ryan Clark instead of Adam Schefter. RC, your reaction to them tabling it?
Well, I think it should be tabled. My thought is, though, what happens when the coaches aren't there? What happens when they're having these conversations further down the road? I heard you guys talk about it a little bit earlier, and if this is truly a player safety thing, I listened to Nick Sirianni say we don't coach this play from the offensive line and the defensive line in any way different than we coach a normal quarterback sneak. And then also Shannon mentioning something that a lot of people don't remember is that you did used to push on field goal block, and that was something that was outlawed. So there's so many pieces to this. I think my larger problem is it's such a successful play that attempting to outlaw it feels like a way to find an out of defending it. And I think to me, that part was soft. To me, that part was people running from coaching, as Mike Tomlin would say. So I'm glad that it was tabled for now, but I do believe this will be a topic of discussion again. And if they can continue to push that it is a player health and safety risk, I believe at some point the tush push will be outlawed by the NFL.
I just think they should take a stance. Pick a side. Whatever you decide, either outlaw or let it, because I'm kind of tired of talking about it. We know there's only a handful of teams that have success. You talk about Josh Allen, who's 6'6", 250 pounds. They're successful at it. And the Philadelphia Eagles with a 6'6", 328-pound offensive line with a quarterback that can squat 600 pounds. His leg drive. But, you know, normally there was a time that aiding the runner, which means you push the runner to gain extra yards, that were outlawed. Now you can aid the runner, you just can't pull him. It's just, for me, I just want them to make a decision one way or another. It does seem like a cop-out because only two teams seemingly have success doing it. The Eagles are at like 86% on 3rd and 4th downs when they use this play. Nobody in the history of the game. Do you know how many games you would actually win if you could be 86% on all of your 3rd and 4th downs, regardless of the
you win the Super Bowl.
RC. Every single year, because you're never coming off the field. You're not coming off the field. And so for me, Stephen A., I agree. I think it's because they can't figure out a way to defend it. Because I remember the run and shoot and the no hurry. You remember Nick Saban used to say the hurry up offense. They need to do something with the hurry up offense. Well, they adopted, they found ways, they got innovative. They started doing the hurry up offense as well. Until you find a way to defend it, people are going to say, well, you know what? We need to outlaw it because we can't stop it through our creative coaching style. So I don't believe it. I haven't seen the data, but they're going to have to show me, Stephen, where it says when we get in this formation and run it, players on the defensive side get injured. Other than that,
Shannon, there's a very simplistic answer to this question, but before I do, just to backtrack as an aside, Shannon, getting back to that WNBA conversation, while we were talking the minute we went to the commercial break, I had a source text me and say the WNBA lost $40 million last year. Just want to throw that out there. I'm going to move on from the subject. We'll revisit that conversation with Janae later on, okay? Or another day. Here, let me get to this tush-push thing. It's very, very simple, guys. Ryan Clark, Shannon Sharpe, everybody in the NFL that is against the tush-push, this is what the equivalent of. Let me create a vivid picture for y'all. Shannon Sharpe and Ryan Clark are on the offensive line, and Stephen A. is rushing. Stephen A.'s trying to defend against me. What chance I got? That's the rest of them. Because the Philadelphia offensive line, there's no shot in hell. The Philadelphia Eagles' average size on the offensive line is 328 pounds. So the question is, if there's a bunch of dudes resembling Stephen A. on the defensive side of the ball, right, trying to rush at y'all, trying to stop the tush push, okay? Of course I'm a whine and moan about how that damn thing needs to be gotten rid of. The question is, do you do it because of that reason? Football players know the answer to this question, not the rest of us. This is, no matter how much we watch, no matter how much we debate, This is truly, truly one of those subjects that no one outside of football players should be answering because we don't know. You can watch a lot of stuff schematically and what's going on. But when it comes to something like that, on that field, with that particular play that you're defending against, only football players can answer it. Ryan Clark, Shannon Sharpe, is it fair and is it good for competition in the league to have that play? That is what it comes down to.
I know we need to move on, but let's think about the AFC Championship. The reason that the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl is because they stopped it twice. They stopped it on a 2-point conversion, and they stopped it on the 4th and 1. You can stop the play. You just got to have dudes like Chris Jones, dudes like Justin Reed that are willing to stick their face in the fan. And to me, it's coaches knowing that I ain't got Jalen Hurts. I don't have Josh Allen. I ain't got Deion Dawkins. I don't have Dickerson. I don't have Jurgens. I don't have these dudes that are willing to sacrifice, play in and play out on 4th and 1 to go get it done. And if you don't have those dudes, then don't run it. But defensively, you got to find some people to stop it because we consistently talk about how this game gets softer and softer and softer every year. And having votes like this does nothing for the perception of football as a soft football game or as a soft sport when people say instead of trying to stop it, instead of figuring out ways to do that, I'd rather go get it voted down.
Mm-hmm. Hey. If I'm a team in the NFC East, I'm going to draft the D lineman from Florida, Desmond Watson, 464 pounds. Son, I want you to line up here between the center and the guard, and don't you let them run this ball over here.
That's right.
All right, let's leave it there, guys. We'll take push ban.
I'm against it if you're saying that it is a play that puts players in grave danger or increases their likelihood of being injured, and the data doesn't suggest that it does. If there's no data that says that players are getting injured on this play or they're at any greater risk of injury on this play, then why are you banning it? You know what? The reason why you're banning it is for 2 reasons. One, optically, you just don't like the way it looks. You just don't like the fact that offenses, with all the, with the way that the rules are set up right now, with all the advantages that they have at their disposal already, you don't want to give them another one in terms of them being able to have players line up behind a quarterback and push behind them. That's one of the reasons why. And 2, you can't figure out a way to stop it. And when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, when you look at the Buffalo Bills, who have a greater than 80% success rate with this play in terms of converting on first downs or scoring touchdowns, look, I can understand why people are ticked off and they want to get rid of it. Other teams haven't figured out a way to perfect it the way in which Philadelphia and Buffalo have, and you damn sure haven't figured out a way in which to slow it down. So unless you can provide some kind of actual evidence that this is putting players in harm's way, or it really is increasing their likelihood of sustaining some kind of significant injury, what you really are saying is, I just don't like the play. And I don't like the competitive advantage that it has given Philadelphia and Buffalo, which to me doesn't sound like a good reason to ban something.
Shannon?
Well, Lou, you remember when you and I, we go back, like you and I played the 30s and 40s, they used to allow you on field goal block and PAT block. What could you do, Lewis? You could push the guy, gain more, get leverage, and go through and try to block the kick. Yep. What did they do with that, Lou? They banned it.
Yep.
Normally, there used to be a situation, Stephen A., they called it aiding the runner. They wouldn't allow you to push the runner. Now, because of the tush